Yo, what's up? We got something ridiculous today. Yes, of course, everything involving Gaijin nowadays is ridiculous, but this is extra ridiculous because it also involves a Butthurt Chinese. Yes, one of the people who love to get Butthurt the most nowadays. Now, what exactly happened and what does it have to do with a Chinese dude? Well, here's the whole story. End of this week, so right before the weekend, there were severe server issues with Enlisted, Warthunder, and also Active Meta, I was told. Gaijin's new favorite game. Now, what exactly happened is that the servers seemed to be down and lots of data was disrupted, especially the player stats. You couldn't see them anymore. The Battle Pass content was affected. And as many players complained, the lock-in streak wasn't counted anymore. Now, what's so bad about that? Well, I personally don't care about that. But as I was told, there are many players who care about. Because if you lock in, I think, for 100 days, you get the name decorator. Or maybe also if you lock in for 1 year. And you definitely get more and more the longer your streak is. So there are some people who are on 1000-day lock-in streaks. And I want those fancy decorators. Problem is though, number one, those decorators aren't good looking enough to put in the effort. And number two, these server problems disrupted the count of this lock-in streak, so people were reset and got very scared that the lock-in streak gets deleted. Now, here's how it usually works. Whenever something like that happens, it can be restored, yeah? It can be restored, even an incompetent company like Gaijin can restore it. The data is not stored on one random point, one random computer, and if that computer is affected, it's all gone. No. For legal reasons alone, everything is stored on multiple different separate sources, so if one source is compromised, you still have backups, usually multiple ones. So I don't see any problems in case something like that happens ever again. Yeah, it's just a matter of waiting. You wait a few days and everything's fine. Now, what is the first problem though? People waited for a few hours and there were posts made by Gaijin. And these posts said, yeah, there's unexpected maintenance. Now, some highly optimistic, others would call them naive players of Enlisted thought, oh, this means the update is going to drop surprisingly on Friday because we're in maintenance, which usually means 10-20 minutes of maintenance, servers are down, for a big update to be uploaded, and then the big update is released. But you could exclude this possibility easily, because A, no one is releasing a big update on Friday right before all the Gaijin workers go, well, to the pub next door and get drunk for the next 3 days, and no one's working anymore, and if there's any issue, which usually is with new updates, no one can fix them. No one releases new stuff like that on Fridays. Yeah? So that definitely would never happen. And B, Gaijin said it multiple times, it won't be released this week. So yeah, this is, or implied it clearly that it won't be released this week. So yeah, meaning if you don't get a big post with all the content released, you won't get the game up. You won't get the big release. I can already hear there are some authors saying, "Oh no, you can't say that Gaijin never. You can't say that Gaijin clearly said the update won't be this week." Well, yes, I can, because if every big update contains a big post with all of the new content and no such post is being posted, well, we can expect that in this day there won't be any big update. And if the servers are suddenly down, yeah, you can logically conclude this is not because an update is there. Yeah, because then there would be this post. So yeah. And now, okay, so here's the first problem that got very many Enlisted players angry. While Enlisted servers were down for, I guess, a few hours, I wasn't even at home at that time, so I don't know the exact time, there were lots of complaining posts and everything that I already described being circulated on social media. And players noticed that, oh wait, the problems were very quickly solved and fixed on Warthunder servers. And they were also very quickly fixed on active meta servers. Yep, it's that new random extraction shooter game that was released 5 years too late, after everyone stopped caring about extraction shooters. I showed you a little preview about that game in one of my previous videos. And this game also had quickly everything solved. Only Enlisted did not. Only Enlisted peasants had to wait multiple hours for all of the stuff to work again. And it's still not even completely solved, because there was a post made by Gaijin saying that, yeah, some things couldn't be fixed, they will be fixed next week. So after the weekend. Meaning, Gaijin Gopnik stopped working on Enlisted on the Friday and just postponed the work. Whereas they did the same work for all the other games. Now what does it mean? Well, it's obviously highly disrespectful to the Enlisted players, and it also means that Gaijin fucking doesn't care about Enlisted that much. It definitely cares more about Warthunder, and it definitely cares more about Autist Matter. Yeah, a game that, well, has only a few thousand members on the new Reddit. Last time I checked, the average amount of upvotes or whatever interaction with the post there was like 10, 15. Like even Enlisted, after losing lots of players, still gets easily 500 upvotes for interesting, funny, or good posts. That Reddit has basically nothing. It's like a desert. So yeah, Now this is the first dimension of the issue. Now people wondered, why were those servers down in the first place? Because Gaijin has multiple games and many years of experience with server stability and security and whatever. And there are no real reasons why something like that should happen. Also, the fact that it happened on a Friday, highly suspicious, because how high is the chance that it happens on a Friday, not early, but basically afternoon or around noon, when most people are not working anymore, already going home? Yeah, this is the worst possible moment for something like that to happen. Now, every intelligent or experienced even internet user smells hacking. Yes, because this is, if the worst possible moment for a catastrophe to happen happens, yeah, this sounds like intention. Now, around the time, one specific Chinese dude, there are suspicions who it might be. I have a link posted down below to that person for everyone who's interested in investigation. One dude posted a post in Chinese, of course. Of course, it was also translated, I guess, by AI into Russian and also into English. Fun fact, as you can see, English just the tertiary language. Russian is apparently more important. So I guess it was posted on the Russian Warthunder post or forum section. Now, what does this post tell us? How does it enlighten us? Well, it, on a very, strange day, if you look at the date, says that the Chinese dude complains about Gaijin. Yeah, Gaijin did something bad, and now Chinese players are very angry with Gaijin. Yes. Why are they angry? Are they angry because Gaijin breaks promises or lies to players or just fucks up products, doesn't fix bugs, is lazy with updates, or has like long grind events, overpriced things, or doesn't release high quality updates? No, not that at all. This dude complains about Gaijin releasing Japanese faction content that historically was Chinese. And apparently this makes a bunch of Chinese very angry, because how dare you, in a video game that's meant to be fun and not historically accurate, how dare you let the Japanese faction use Chinese guns and weapons? Oh no, and vehicles. How could it? The world is about to end, apparently, because I guess he should notify Greta Thunberg that she starts spurging about this problem, because apparently this is a highly serious issue to some people, that a video game releases some things. Now, I'm not too into the history of Japanese weapons manufactured in China under over the time of the occupation. China is gigantic, obviously. There were countless factories even before it was properly industrialized. For example, China produced many Swiss guns after renting, oftentimes also not renting the patents for those guns. Also produced some small vehicles. Also, China, for example, imported German helmets before World War II and during. So, yeah, China had lots of foreign influence regarding weapon technology, and they also had lots of their own production. Now, obviously, after Japan occupied lots of China, they used these production facilities for themselves. So, it's just natural to assume that many Chinese things that were already efficient to produce in those factories would be used by the Japanese. So, it makes sense that they would be, well, logically under the playable by the Japanese faction. Now, I can tell so much without knowing the specific details what weapons they talk about. Obviously, if Japan was given random stuff they never had and never used, and they're being called Chinese, yeah, this would be historically inaccurate and technically wrong. Okay. And that's the end of the problem. That's all there is to. But nope, this China dude, he goes full Spurg mode, and apparently that's the implication that China declares war on Gaijin. And yep, people speculate this is about to imply that this dude hacked the Gaijin servers. Yes, he hacked them at the worst possible moment to fuck up Gaijin as much as possible, to hurt Gaijin as much as possible. Problematically, he's obviously a Warthunder dude. He's a Warthunder Goon. And from how he takes Warthunder to series, he's been gooning Warthunder for way too long, we can conclude. Yep, he is very angry. He is very angry with Gaijin. And that's why apparently the servers got hacked. Yes, but and if you read this whole post, it's just so ridiculous. It's just so ridiculous. He starts yapping about, oh no, this is wrong. Okay. But it's not like the post even describes the technical differences and imprecision. No, he just starts yapping about how that's an insult to China's history and blah blah, and it's a anti-China worldwide conspiracy against China to ruin the public opinion of China. Now, let's put it this way. From the past 5 years alone, I can think of many instances that ruined the public opinion of China. We don't need Gaijin to add on top of that. Also, how do we know this is a dude who's gooning War Thunder 24/7? Because he thinks anyone cares about War Thunder and how any nation is depicted in War Thunder. Like, no one fucking cares about War Thunder and about how accurate or not the stuff there is. I heard so much ridiculous. Look, every player who plays War Thunder or Enlisted knows these games severely lack historical accuracy for countless different reasons. So every player who played these games for a few months knows that, okay, I won't take these games serious in terms of historical accuracy facility. No, I'm just gonna play them as games that have a historical feeling and immersion, but I won't take them too serious because they're obviously not precise. They're not precise enough to be taken that serious. Yeah. So every reasonable person will not spurk about War Thunder being historically accurate, and then start spurging about, oh no, this is wrong, so this is bad. No, but yeah, this is the background of why Enlisted players who don't have nothing to do with all of that had to suffer, and why they were neglected, why they are being still neglected by Gaijin. because some China man got butthurt. Yes, and now you're losing your lock-in streak in Enlisted. Yep. So let's hope this doesn't postpone the big Enlisted update any further, because I'm quite sure it took like half a day of work that could have been done on maybe bug fixing the new update or whatever. Yeah. So let's hope we get the update on Tuesday, which would be reasonable to expect. Yeah. Alright, that's it from me. Now you're updated on the situation. And yeah, now we know more about not to enrage random Chinese dudes with their 2 hours of state sanctioned internet use per day. Yep, don't make those angry, otherwise they're gonna hack your grandpa's cell phone. Alright, let me know what you think about that. And check out the link I post to learn about this hacker from China. And of course, like the video and share it with others so they know what's up. And of course, subscribe if you're new. Or maybe even become a channel member if you want to support the channel and participate at the private live streams. It's gonna be today 2-1 in around 1 hour. And until next week, where we very likely will have the new update, even despite all of this hacking. Alright, until soon. Goodbye.